And if you remember at the end of Dragon Age 2, depending on who you sided with, basically there is no peace. The mages and the Templars are at war, and that's basically it. And this book, after the events of Dragon Age 2, it actually mentions Kirkwall several times, and the fact that there's tension throughout Thedas, throughout the entire, every circle and all of Thedas about the events of Kirkwall, and that is what this is mainly focusing on. Is like, it gives you, in my opinion, this book doesn't just pick one side to side with. It doesn't give you the perspective of the mages, or it does really mean, mainly it gives you the perspective of the mages, but at the same time it also gives you the perspective of the Templars. I mean, it basically explains why the circle is there and why Templars are there. And if you're a big fan of Dragon Age, you know why they're there, because magic is a dangerous thing and it does need a certain bit of watch over it. But the way that Templars do it nowadays and Dragon Age is pretty damn brutal. I'll say that right now. I fucking hate the Rite of Tranquility. But you get a few sympathy for the mages as well, for the amount of stuff that they're going through. And you really get the sense, like, this book really does do a fantastic job. Gaider does an awesome job getting you he gets you to see both sides of the story. He gets you to see why the circles exist and why the Templars are there, but also why the mages want to be free, why they deserve to be free, or why they should be free, because the Templars are basically clutching at them like a dove in their, I can't remember the quote, but there's some of them else be like a dove in the hand. If you hold the dove too tightly, you'll kill it. If you hold it too loosely, it'll fly away. You have to get the right mix of constraints, and that's what's quite played on quite well throughout the book. Is there is a certain level of restriction that needs to be put on magic, but if you hold it too tightly, you're going to strangle them and they're going to rebel. But if you hold too loosely, anarchy. And Gaider does a fantastic job playing on that, in my opinion, because you see the necessity of the Templars, but at the same time you see that some of them do take it way too far, and that the mages are virtually prisoners. They have no way of being free, and you get to see why a lot of the mages actually turn to demon possession and eventually blood magic. And it is hinted at a little bit about blood magic in this book, but not a lot. It doesn't really, you don't really see any mages using it. You only get subtle hints there, and it's fantastically done. And especially towards the end, you do realise that there is no chance of peace. There is basically all-out war. I don't want to spoil exactly what the ending is, but basically there is no chance of peace between the mages and the Templars. It is all-out war now, and I'm dying to know what that's going to be like in Dragon Age 3. I think this kind of sets the stone that Dragon Age 3 is going to be set in Olays by the sounds of it, from all the stuff I'm hearing, and this book as well. From Asunder, it's hinting that Dragon Age 3 is going to be set in Olays, and it's going to be set during the time where basically the mages and the Templars and also the Seekers of Truth, the Seekers of Truth are badasses, are basically all out war. That is basically it, and I'm pretty sure you're going to end up picking a side. But also, it's very much hinted in this book also that the Tevinter Imperium, who are basically the enemies of the All-Legions, also slightly hints that they may take advantage of Olays in its weakened state, which could also hint that maybe in Dragon Age 3 we may have to deal with the Tevinter Imperium as well. So it's very well done. You don't know really what Dragon Age 3 is going to be about, but I absolutely loved it. It's definitely, if you're a Dragon Age fan or interested in all that, I would recommend highly that you read this book. Gaider knows his shop, and David Gaider, fantastic work on this book. I absolutely loved it. It's very close. I'm tempted to say this is really my favourite book out of all three, the ones you've written, but Stolen Throne was really awesome. But I absolutely adored this book. It was really nice to see familiar faces as well. And here's where I'm going to say that if you don't want to hear a major spoiler of this book, or the Dragon Age series, please click off now, because there's a major spoiler, because I'm going to talk about the spoiler in particular, and it's about a character's death, so you might want to go away now. I'll take a swig of this, and after I finish it, I'm going to be talking about the spoilers, so go away. You still here? Fine, I'll talk about the spoiler. I'm not going to be around the bush. WION dies. WION dies in this book. And I'm not going to lie, curse you, David Gaider, I fucking cried like a baby. I'm not going to lie, I cried like a bloody baby at WION's death. It's just because you grew such a connection to that to WION and Dragon Age Origins that I teared up and I ended up bubbling like a bloody baby. And it was just such a beautiful death scene, and she basically gives her life to save someone. I'm not going to say who, but she does, and it's really well done. And I cried at that bit, but the bit that I cried at the most, I'm actually going to have to read it out because I don't think I can just say it. I'm going to have to read it out, and I'm probably going to have to basically, I don't know, try to think. I need to actually find it. I probably should have marked it. Yeah, I'm going to have to find it again. Shit, where is it? Ah, here it is. I'm going to read out. This is actually her funeral. This is where she's buried, it actually describes. And I wept like a baby at this. I'm going to have to read it out, so bear with me, and then I'll talk about it. There was a massive oak tree stood alone in a field, gnarled and grey. The gnarled and grey thing stood as it seemed impossible it should still be standing. Yet always so magnificent, it took one's breath away to behold. That tree had watched the ages pass. It had seen lights fill the land with darkspawn, and yet suffered no corruption. Perhaps it had even been there, watched Andraste's armies tear down the mighty fortresses, stood witness to battles that had slain thousands upon thousands of men, yet it had not fallen. It was at the foot of this tree that WION's ashes were now buried. It had been Liliana's suggestions. WION would have wanted no monument, she said, no marble crypt or fanfare, just a place where she finally rest. Just a place to finally rest. Some place where those who knew her could come and remember her as she was. A woman who had fought for what she believed in, who had stood against the Darkspawn and chaos alike. A woman who had used the years she had been given to leave a world a better place than she had found it. Liliana was there, and so was Shale, First Enchanter Irving too. There were others as well, all hanging their heads in sad memory, marking the passing of their friend. Even the golem had no sarcastic quip to offer, the lights in their eyes now dim and grey. Reyes and Evergreen watched quietly from a distance. He tried to remember his mother, at the last smile she had given him. His heart ached, wondering at the life he might have had if she had never found forced to give him up. That was a different life she might have had. Maybe they could have been good for each other. Liliana began to sing. The words were elven, but Rise understood them even so. They spoke of joy, loss, and how all things must come to an end. It was once the most haunting and beautiful melody he'd ever heard. Fuck you, David Gaider! That bloody made me cry like a bloody baby. I'm resisting the tears now. But in my opinion, it was an absolute perfect way to say goodbye to WION, in my opinion. I butchered a few words there, but absolutely fantastic, and a definite, very well done goodbye to WION. And in my opinion, I don't think that David Gaider, you couldn't have really done a better job, in my opinion, describing where WION was buried, because that is WION's character in a fucking nutshell. She is strong, powerful, and she just wanted to believe in what she believed in, and that, in my opinion, is the perfect way to say goodbye to her. And I'm tearing up as it is. Oh crap, I'm crying. But in my opinion, it was a really well done David Gaider. WION got a really damn awesome send off, and I got to say thank you to David Gaider for that. You gave WION an absolutely fantastic send off, in my opinion, and I don't think you could have done a better job. It's bittersweet. It's sad to see her go, but she went out the way that I envisioned her, and just the way that you described where she was buried was absolutely gorgeous. Although if we do not get to go there in Dragon Age 3, I'm going to hunt you down. That has to be in Dragon Age 3. You have to let us go visit where she's buried. That is a must. I want to see her grave, and I want to literally go there and say goodbye to WION myself. So I think I'll end that review here. I'm going to do a little tribute to Win at the end of this video. I hope you enjoy it. And as always, I'm Scottish Warrior 92, and courtesy of David Gaider, I cried like a baby at Win's death. And I hope you enjoy this little short tribute. Shouldn't be any more than a minute, hopefully. But I hope you enjoyed this, and let me know what you thought of the book if you've read it down below. And as always, I'm Scottish Warrior 92, and to answer the question, Asunder is worth it. See you all later, and ciao for now.
Ah, child, your concern is heartwarming, but death comes to everyone, and it is not something to fear. People fear not death, but having life taken from them. Many waste the life given to them, occupying themselves with things that do not matter. When the end comes, they say they did not have time enough to spend with loved ones, to fulfill dreams, to go on adventures they only talked about. But why should you fear death if you are happy with the life you have led? If you can look back on everything and say, yes, I am content, it is enough.